It was a beautiful day in the leafy forest. The birds were chirping a morning melody, letting everyone know that it was the start of a new day. Princess Cinderella was standing in front of her castle, holding a basket, waiting for her friend Snow White to go apple picking. Snow White finally arrived, carrying a little stool. She approached Cinderella and gave her a big, friendly hug, and the two went on their way to the apple orchard. The orchard was lined with beautiful tall apple trees ripe for the picking. They placed Snow White's stool under a tall tree, and Cinderella, leaving her basket on the floor, stood up on the stool and started picking the pretty red apples, which she then handed down to Snow White, who placed them in the basket. When the basket was already half full, a gentle brown bear showed up out of the woods. She was sniffing around looking for food and happened to come across Snow White and Cinderella's apple basket. While the two princesses weren't looking, the bear grabbed the basket and ran into the forest. "Oh no!" cried Snow White. Cinderella turned around only to see the bear making haste with their apples. The princesses quickly started chasing the bear and soon found the gentle animal in a little cave, feeding the apples to her cubs. Snow White and Cinderella both felt really bad. The poor bear was only feeding her family. They knew what they had to do. The princesses marched on back to the orchard. Snow White started picking even more apples, and Cinderella went back to her castle where she grabbed all the vegetables she could find. Snow White placed the apples she picked into Cinderella's basket, and the two friends returned to the cave where the bears were eating. At first, the animals were afraid of the two princesses, fearing that they would take their basket back. Cinderella gently placed the basket filled with tasty red apples and fresh vegetables on the ground, and the animals started sniffing towards the healthy food. The cubs started eating out of the basket, and the mama bear walked over to Cinderella and Snow White to thank them by rubbing her head on their legs. Cinderella and Snow White both pet the bear and smiled happily.